Okay. So, here, hand me the leash. I'm just gonna let him get used to me for a little bit. So you guys might as well have a seat, because it's gonna take a little bit of time.
I've been sitting all day, so I'll stand.
Okay. I'm not gonna rush anything, but I just wanna get him to start getting comfortable knowing that I'm not gonna hurt him or I'm not gonna smack him. He's got all kinds of issues. I've worked a lot with shelter dogs, and shelter dogs, like what I first noticed. Like what I first noticed with him when I first saw him. Hey, sit down, good boy.
I don't know if he really likes the fan. He keeps sorry to interrupt you. He always keeps looking up no matter when his fans are going.
It's okay. It's okay. Things like, obsessions,
Right.
they just got to deal with. And that's kind of what he's going to do now, is that what I do is I just get the dogs, I pull these dogs out of shelters that are just freaked out and panicked and nobody can catch them, that sort of thing, and they'll only come up to a couple of different volunteers or whatever. And so I take them out of the cage and I walk them around and I have them stop and sit and wait. And so what's going to happen, what I anticipate, is he's worried about all these things that are going to happen. And when they don't start happening, when his worst nightmare doesn't happen, and then he thinks about another one and that doesn't happen. He has all these issues that he thinks about that might happen, so he feels he should fear them. He's manufacturing his own fears. And so what I want him to do is just sit here and just deal with all of those things, and as they don't come up, as those fears, as his worst nightmares, somebody smacking him or kicking him or whatever his issues are, when those don't happen, they don't manifest, then he kind of drops a little bit in his head. He kind of, oh, well, okay, maybe that's not so bad. And may take him a while to start letting go as each of those arise, and then they don't manifest. When his fears don't manifest, then he can almost breathe a sigh of relief. Oh, okay, that didn't happen. And then, oh, that one didn't happen either. And oh, how about this one? And oh, maybe not that one. And so all I'm going to have him do is just kind of go through that. And it could take him a while. But there you go. Okay. All right. So I'm going to kind of ignore him for a while. All I want him to do, I don't want to challenge him, because that
makes it worse.
That makes it worse, yes. And so I want him to just stay here. And that's all I want him to do, is just stay there. And he can growl and do his little things, but eventually it's going to subside. And once it subsides, then you can reach him better. It's like if your house is on fire and you're trying to run around, grab your animals and grab your belongings, some of the things that you think you want, there's no way somebody can talk reasonably to you, right? Somebody can't come over, your neighbor can't go, hey, listen, I want to talk to you about your hedges are getting kind of tall, and you know what I mean? You can't concentrate on that conversation.
You're not in the right state of mind.
Yeah, because you're freaking out, you're panicked. So you got other things to worry about, okay? And so then when those things don't happen, let's say it wasn't as big as you thought, and the fire guys came here, or your husband had a extinguisher and he took it all out, and then you, oh my God, oh, thank God, oh, you know, your heart's pounding out of your chest, but your mind starts to, oh crap, oh, that was awful, you know, and then you start calming down. 2-3 hours later, or the next morning, your neighbor's able to go, hey, how'd that fire go? Oh, it was no big fire at all. Well, now I like talking about that hedge.
Right.
So then you're in a mood, you're like, well, I don't really want to deal with it, but at least you can acknowledge him and say, well, okay, now's a good time, or now's really not a good time, but I understand what you mean and I'll do it, but right now I'm kind of busy. So that's kind of what happens to dogs, is that they start
Building up anticipation.
all kinds of stuff. I mean, for instance, any dog, even a well-behaved dog, you play ball with him in the house or outside, and you run and he plays and you fight and you run, and it's all good stuff. And you chase the ball and he gets all excited, and you do this for like 45 minutes. And then you get a phone call and you walk inside the house and he's out there and he's still, hey, what the heck's going on here? I want to play more. And you're like, well, you got a serious phone call. And now you're all down here, and now you're all, okay, yeah, I understand. And all your energy, you understand that your energy, that playtime is over for you. But nobody told the dog playtime's over.
Right.
So they stay in that agitated state, that intense state. Hey, what's up? What the hell? And so then you let him in, and he jumps all over the place, and he doesn't listen because he still thinks he's still in that
State of mind.
mode. Yes, he's still in that, hey, dude, and you've forgotten. You just kind of ignored him, and now you're like, dude, calm down, what the hell's wrong with you? And you may have forgotten that you left him in that way elevated state that you can relax. You can like take a bath or to drink a glass of wine, but dogs can't relax until you tell them it's okay, or you kind of force them to, like kind of what I'm doing right now. He wants to creep away. Well, let's go the hell over there. Or, I want to get the hell out of here. This is bugging me. Or blah, blah, blah. But
Almost make him basically fight the fear.
absolutely, face it.
Face it.
Because what happens is, if somebody has a problem with a dog, they just take him out of the situation and they crate him, or they lock him in a room or put him outside, and they don't deal with it. Mm-hmm. And really the only time you can deal with a dog's bad behavior is when they're exhibiting that bad behavior. So then you can point it out to them, that's an unacceptable behavior. But if you just put them away, then they don't know and they haven't learned anything. And then the next time it comes up, you go, oh, I'll just put him away. I'll just put him outside. But not correct him and let him see that what he was doing was unacceptable behavior, and that it's not good, and that you disapprove. I don't know why I'm talking to you. You know what I mean? You just happen to be in my most right train of side here, but it's just, don't feel...
No.
No, it's fine.
Okay, all right.
You're fine.
So already he's in a little better state, just a little bit. It's not as intense as it was, and so he, as you can see, he's kind of dealing with me now. Even though I have him on the leash, he's not tugging, he's not continuing to pull away. Right there, he was just thinking, okay, well, he hadn't done anything for a while, so I guess I can go now.
Right.
And so I'm going to keep reminding him that all I want him to do is just hang out. I'm not going to hurt him, I'm not going to kick him, and all of his worst nightmares and fears are not going to manifest. I really want him to sit down because he's not relaxed right now. He's standing, and so I just want there. Good boy, good. That's what he did at Amber's, is that part of the training is to let him know what it is that you want.
Right.
What I want him to do is sit down, and so I say, good, and my body says, yes, that's what I want. But when I do that, he answers me. And so that's a real dominant state, because I'm training him right now to, when he does what I want, he gets a, good boy. And my body language changes, and my tone changes. It's like we've always been taught, I'm going to talk to you about it a little bit. We've always been taught to say, no, dog, not that, no, stop, no,
Right.
Always. I was never taught to tell a dog what it is that I want. And so part of the problem is dogs hear, no, 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 not that, no, not on this couch, not over here. You don't say, here, right here is fine. You just say, no, not there. And he doesn't get that this is okay. He just gets that this whole thing is no. And so he hears nothing but no and down and no begging and stop and blah, 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 blah.
Cock a woman nagging.
Kind of. And so what this philosophy is to let him know purely that what he's doing is the right behavior. And you have to, after the no's, you have to go, well, yes, this is what I want. This is the behavior that I approve of. And so then he starts all the worries of, no, I can't do this, and no, and no, and no, and no, and no, no, no. He finds a little bit of solace. Oh, sorry. He finds a little bit of, oh, okay, well, I see that your intent and your demeanor changed when I did X.
Right.
Not when I did Y and Z. It's a, I call it good cop, bad cop.
Right.
Good cop is the sound and the body language that you make when you approve of what he's doing. And the bad cop is the stiff, angular body, just kind of, it's a disappointment. It's not anger. It's like, oh, I expected so much more.
Right.
Sorry. I expected so much more from you.
Right.
And so what it does is it changes in their head. So, because a dog can take, he understands anger. And it does, anger, beating a dog or whatever, doesn't change their behavior. It just makes them fear you. And it fears you, so now it acquiesces to your anger, but it doesn't change his behavior. Like if you exiled him, if you removed him from the pack, and made it like a kid, you got to sit in a corner in a classroom. It's humiliating. It's much more better than taking a kid and whacking him a couple of times on his butt and then sending him back to class. He's got to sit there for an hour like dumbass.
Right.
And the humiliation and the
Knowing that.
oh my God, this is awful. He's like, he can get over it a couple of smacks and cry, but then he's better. But the humiliation of his friends and his peers and all that is far more psychologically needling, right?
Right.
So that's the best way to approach a dog. Not a lot of people really know that, but that's how you reach a dog, is through that channel. So what I want to do is, he's doing okay right now. I still don't want to get too near him, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to test his commitment to the command, which is just staying there. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to start walking around him and see if he's going to follow me. And I just keep reminding him that all I want him to do is just hang out. So I got to get in the middle here so I can walk around him. Okay, just wait. See, so he's not quite ready yet for the walking, because he's still so untrusting. So untrusting. All I did was just move, and that set him off. So he's still way agitated. He's still way dominant. He's still in the shelter. He's still on guard, 100%. He hasn't really let his guard down. He's just locked down, and what can I do? Come near me, I'll chomp the shit out of you. And he will. He would. So you can't shove him in a cage right now, which is kind of what you were trying to do, because he's not in the right frame of mind. He has to be calm. He has to be like relaxed, and you have to. And I know you were frightened, literally afraid of him, and so when you put out that energy of being afraid, then he's like, well, I should I should worry because he senses weakness. And
Right.
what dogs do is they look for somebody that's a leader. Okay, you always hear Caesar saying, you know, be dominant. But what does that mean? That means dogs have thousands of years of evolution. And that evolution involves being in a pack and either being a part of a pack or sin out in a way because one dog tried to challenge the main dog and the main dog says, that's not how I run my pack. You know,
Right.
the main dog is not about him, it's about the quality of the pack. And it's about everything is about the value and the safety and the cohesion of the pack unit. And if you have detractors or guys that are constantly testing or messing with them, then they're going to be sent off. And they're going to be on their own. They're going to have to find their own pack to dominate or be a part of. Or they're going to have to relent and follow the instructions of the main pack leader.
Right.
And if there's not anybody strong enough, if they got a really strong need to be dominant, then they're going to take the role. Unless somebody else says, no, this is what I want you to do. I want you to be beside the way to sit down, okay? Just sit down. Just sit. He's still not even going to listen to me. He's just still way too...
He's in a different state of mind.
Totally, and he's not trusting anybody.
Right.
He's not going to give up his trust. He's not going to allow trust to happen until he really believes that I'm dominant, or that you're dominant, or that you've got a dominant state. I saw it when you came in, but it was, he didn't attack you because he felt your strength, but he still didn't really allow you to be his leader.
And it's still taking what? You haven't had 3 days now?
So it's Saturday night.
Yeah, it's still taking 2 days, and I come home and he still barks at me, and then he forgets about it. So yeah,
Yeah, he barks and runs from him when he first comes in, and then after a couple minutes, then he will go to him. But he's still, it's like the first day he was not really going to him at all. I mean, he was scared of everything in our house. He was even barking at everything outside. The wind blew when he barked. He was just not comfortable here.
And the other problem that really kind of puts a kibosh on everything, he went from one place to another place. He doesn't know anything about this, so he's completely upside down coming here, having to trust us to take care of him.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, he got, turned upside down from maybe several times before he got to Amber's house.
Right.
Yeah. So she originally had him. He got adopted. They took him to the shelter. I think it was like a year. A year later, or a year and a half, they took him to the shelter. She got him back. She was only had him for like a week and a half, and then he came here.
Mhm.
So
So he's totally,
yeah.
Screwed up.
he doesn't know what's up. And all he can do, I mean, it's almost like a kid in a foster kid, they get screwed up
He
because
bounced from place to place to place.
they bounce around, and then people pretend like, oh, I love this kid, and then once the social worker leaves, they go, and they treat them like crap.
Right.
Maybe not all the time,
Right.
but so then the kids hate people. They become distant. They don't create attaches because they lose every attachment that they think is good in their life, even a shitty attachment. Even someone that's abusive to them, they'll attach to them because that's really all they know, until they find somebody else that's even really nice to them, like what Amber could be. But he can't see the beauty that Amber could bring to this dog because he's so like house on fire, let's say, in his head, and he's just not gonna let anybody trust anybody for some time.
Right.
Maybe today we can make a little progress, and maybe not. But this is what it takes. It takes this kind of, and I teach this all the time with dog owners, And they don't have dogs that are this far in their heads,
Right.
let's say, this far dominant. They think they are, but then when I come along and, no, they turn into little mushy jello. Like, okay, that's fine, I'll do whatever you say, you know. And the people are like, wow, I'm like, well, you see, you know, he didn't believe you as a leader, but when I come in, he's like, oh, crap, I gotta listen to that guy.
Because you're showing authority.
Well, just it's a position. It's an intent. The intent is I'm not going to let you get away with what it is that you're doing. I'm going to allow you to be calm, and when you're finally calm, then I'm going to start asking him to do a few things. You know, follow me and stop and sit and wait, and that, which is kind of what I'm doing now. And I want to work into it because I like to speed up the process, but you know, you can't really rush these things. And the fact that he's staying down is a good thing. He's not jumping up, he's not growling at me, and so I'm just going to keep, well, there it is. I'm just going to kind of let him deal with this new behavior, and he's going to, you know, raise his cockles and, oh, I don't like that attitude, I don't like that new activity. But when the activity doesn't prove, nothing comes out of it. When all I'm doing is walking in circles around, and finally he's going to go, oh, that's nothing. Why do I got to bark at that?
Right.
So that's how. Then you add just new things. You know, I may have him sit up, and wow, that's going to really upset him because I asked him to just sit up from laying down. But when those things start, when he starts eventually going through those motions, then he's going to relinquish control to me. That's going to be how it works. Because he's going to assume that I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to let him off the hook. As much as he screams and cries and pulls and tugs and growls and barks, I'm not going to go, okay, you win. All right, I give up. See you guys later. I'm just not going to do it. And so eventually he's going to have to go, well, ooh, that guy's worthy, hopefully. That guy's worthy of my allegiance. So that's going to be kind of how it works. And as long as if he sees this and he sees it, nothing's happening, you know, I'm not confronting him, I'm going to let him sniff me for a while and let him feel comfortable, because I've got a dog, and so he's probably sniffing this dog and maybe another dog, because I've been working in these past
Right.
with several dogs, so I'm sure I have several dog smells on me, but I'm just going to kind of ignore him, but I want him to just deal with the house on fire kind of a thing and see that nothing's coming out of it. I'm just here. I'm just here. And that's all I'm going to do. Is just keep him in the game and keep him just doing a little bit of what I want. Good boy. Good boy. See, he doesn't even know what good boy means. He doesn't understand that that's a good thing. You know, he doesn't.
He's been told negative things consistently.
Yeah, or he's been smacked or whatever, and so he doesn't trust. He has no trust. He's just, you know, a dog, one dog in a giant world that he feels that he's got to protect himself from.
Him against the world.
When
Kinda, yeah.
before he was adopted out, I mean, he was a different dog. He was, you know, he just doesn't seem so confident. You know, he's so nervous and scared around so much stuff. And before he would like.
Wait, you've seen him before Amber got him?
Yeah. Well, when he first was rescued, he was rescued from Orange Cove. I actually helped Amber rescue him. He came here first before he even met her. And I had him for a couple hours, and then he went with her. She fostered him for, I don't know, however many months. But then he was also here when he went to go get neutered. I watched him for the night because the person who was taking him lived closer to me. And so he was here for a night, and back then, he was just carefree, you know, he wasn't scared of anything. He'd come in here and he was fine, you know, and then even then I created him, and he was fine.
Really?
And then
So something happened
so
then.
something when he got adopted is what happened, or when he.
How long was he gone when he got adopted? After that, after that time that you had him and things were good in the crate and all that stuff?
And when Amber had him, he was good. And then so he had patches in December and January. So it was probably, I don't remember when he was adopted, maybe January, December, not this past one, but the one before. So he's been gone for about a year and 4 months.
Oh,
After
so do you know what happened during that year and 4 months when he was away?
something changed. I don't know.
Yeah, but the owner,
Yeah.
I mean, what was his, what, you know what his situation was like? Was he left on his own devices? Was he included in a family? Was he smacked around? Was he never played with? Was he never humanized, you know, with humans and other animals? That
They
sort of thing.
didn't have any other dogs. The lady had 2 kids, or has 2 kids. Amber knows more of the situation than I do, what she was telling him about. I know that's what Amber was telling me was that the lady was saying he had too much energy for her, and that he constantly wanted her attention, and when she would ignore him, he like nipped her in the butt one time, and he was just, I guess, too much high energy, and they were going to get a trainer, but
So he wanted love?
Right.
pretty much is what it sounds like to me and
That's-
Amber. That's
Well,
what it sounds
boy,
like.
that was their opportunity to turn him around if he wanted love, because
Right.
if he wants affection, then he knows what he wants, and then he should have been given a ton,
Right.
as much as possible, of affection every time he needed it, except, you know, if he gets a little too wild, then that's why you have your
Yeah.
bad cop, and you go, no,
Right.
I love you, but right now, I just want you to sit down over there. I'm busy with my child, or
Yeah.
I'm studying for a class, or whatever, and dogs don't understand that you have priorities and other, and
Right.
so you just have to go, okay, well, I love you, but right now, I can't have you in my face.
Right,
And I'll
and
get
see-
back to you.
Yeah, and that's the thing is they said that he wanted too much attention, he played too rough, and she just, I don't know, she just didn't have time for him, I don't know. And then another thing is, I guess she moved and she had a roommate, and the roommate I don't think really cared for dogs, and the roommate told the doctor that he bit her, and that was one of the reasons why they got rid of him too. So I don't know, you know, exactly. Amber knows a lot more because she was in communications with the doctor.
She told me a little bit, but not all of that, but she did
Yeah.
tell me some. She told me about the part where she got bit, but she turned her back on.
Yeah, and so, you know, because I had met him, and then even when the day he got adopted,
All right.
the mother who was her son have him on the leash, and the son couldn't get Cash to go anywhere the son wanted to go. The son was like, Cash go wherever. And I remember next week we had one of our dogs, our fosters there too, and we were trying to explain, you know, you guys need to make him go where you want to go. But the boy was just like, well, no, he wants to go over here, we'll go over here. And that was when he was getting adopted. And that, you know, so a year and 4 months, who knows, you know, what happened. And then
I don't know, it could have been, he just could have been smacked around, or
yeah, and
he
she
just
said
could have
that-
been left on his own devices and just became mean because nobody paid any attention to him, or the attention that he got was like, get down and no job and no, 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 no. But there wasn't any yes, that's what I love right there. That's good stuff right there, you know?
Right, yeah,
And,
that's what it kind of seems like. And, yeah, and then I guess the doctor was saying that she used to take him on walks, and then it got to the point where she would try to walk him during the day, and he would try to run back to the house,
Well, sit up.
so she
Well,
only
sit
could
up.
walk him at night.
Sit up. Good boy. Good boy.
So I mean, like I said, when he first was rescued from the first shelter, he was, you know, confident. He came in here, he wasn't scared of anything. He, you know, liked people. He would go out. I mean, we never had. He was a little pushy, but you know, you would just, would just let him know that, oh, you're not gonna. I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna do what I say. And he was fine, but something happened after he was adopted to where he give out these meetings.
All right, okay. Be cool. You're cool. Where you going? Sit down.
And then I did, after she got him right out of the shelter the next day, I actually went over to her.
Thank you. That's a good kid. Yeah.
And he was, when they took him at Amber's house, he was acting, of course, differently than what he's been acting the whole time here.
Good.
Just what it comes down to is he has a hard time trusting people.
Totally, that's all it is, yeah. That's kind of, sit up, sit up. Good boy, sit up. There you go, there you go. When a dog lays down, they tune out. It's a way of ignoring you. And so I want to I just want to keep him in the game.
Right.
So I want to keep his mind still going like, oh, what's he going to do? What's he going to do now? Oh, he hasn't done anything. What's he going to do now? He hasn't done anything. So, sit up. There you go. Good. That's all. Good boy. I'm going to walk this way now. I'm going to walk around this way. There you go. Good boy. Good. No. See, this is the building the trust. Standing behind him, walking around him without doing anything. It slowly builds like, it just knocks those trepidations down. And that's all we're doing. That's all we're doing. Oh boy. What's weird is that when I say yes to him, it sets him off. No, sit up. Up. Sit up. Good boy. There you go. I didn't do it that time. So to me, that was a good sign, because he didn't growl and, oh, I don't like what you just said there. Ah, you're probably intimidating me. But he's starting, hopefully. I don't know yet. I'm not 100%, but those sort of non-actions are telling me that something is calming. Something's getting through. No, sit up. 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 Sit up. Good boy. Right there. That's all. That's all. Be cool. That's all. Nice. Nice. So, I have to get out of bad cop and show him more of good cop, because that's what I'm working towards. I want him to hear more and more, yeah, good boy. That's what I want. Because he doesn't believe it. He doesn't accept it. He doesn't understand it. It's just not in his...
He only sees one thing, the negative side.
Good boy. Good boy. So, nice. I think I'll stop on this side. I haven't stopped on this side for a while. Yeah. Good boy. Up. 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 Good. Good boy. Good boy. Good. Nice. Nice. Good boy. Yeah. See, hopefully somewhere in there, he remembers that sentiment from whoever had him, for that year and a half. Maybe somebody was nice to him, outside of all the ugly that he might have experienced. But hopefully, I'm not creating a new memory for him. I'm reaching something that he already has in there.
Yeah,
A little like, oh, I remember that sentiment,
Yeah.
I can kind of relate to that, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a kid that's just been, now he's an adult and he was abused. Sit up, good boy. He's been abused, and then, he remembers a time when he was really happy, and when somebody was kind to him, like maybe one of the social workers, and So they kind of pine for those, and they're drawn to them. And you want to feel those things. You don't always want to feel frightened. You burn out your brain. You know, you become crazy. If you always were fearful, if you always were untrusting, you're always on the edge, you imagine. You'd be like in prison. What is it like in prison when you're always worried about the guy over here and the guy over there and the, you know, standing in lunch or just being up, good boy, good boy. It's like you go into a dark place in your head because you just give up, and then you become bad and angry just like everybody else there. You know, you just have to harden yourself for the reality of your horrible situation, and then you learn to toughen up, and that little inner child just gets wiped out, you know, and then you just become, you know, F this and F that, and I don't like anybody or anything, and I'm against the world. I hate everything. Yeah. And so in a way, that's kind of what he was dealing with. And so hopefully there's a softer side in there that wants somebody to go, hey, buddy, look at you. Oh, you're a good boy. Right. Oh, and to have that sentiment and that intent, you know, because let's say someone's walking towards you in the mall and you see him, and you can see if they're looking at you and if they're coming at you like they're gonna hurt you, or if they're like somebody that says, hey man, don't I know you? Yeah. Didn't I go to high school with you? You know, and you're like, you gotta look at them and you go, and you assess their intentions. Up, good boy, good boy. And so that's really how dogs, that's how they interact with the world, is not through the words that people say, but the intent behind them. That's all they care about. You know, you could say, oh, I'm going to kill you, little buddy. How about I grind you up into a little piece of crap? How dare you do one? And they'll fall in love with you. And if you go, oh man, I love you so damn much, you know, and you terrify them. You wouldn't get the sit up, come on, good boy. You wouldn't get the reaction that you'd want, because it's the opposite of what it is that your body is telling them, and that's where they come from. It's not the words, it's the intent. So my intent is calm, it's assertive, it's dominant, but it's dominant in a sense that I'm not going to drag him around and force his will. I just keep reminding him that, look, this is all I want. I want something really simple, and give that to me, and then we can move on. And so when he does, then his worst nightmares again don't happen, and so we can start making more and more progress. Before, I couldn't cut through here. Remember, it was too close to him. And so to me, there's progress. I can just see that something is happening. It may not be, you know, a huge leap for mankind or dogkind, but it's something. It's something. And so there's a little bit of respect that he might be building. Oh, up. Good boy, good boy. Just a little bit of respect.
And you know, when he went into the creek though, which was funny, I could call him to go in the creek, and he would go in the creek, and there was no issue. You know, hey, good boy, but as soon as that door gets that progress where it's going to inch to close, his demeanor completely changed.
Okay, so, you know, he's channeling maybe what it was like when the people he had threw him in a cage and they used it as punishment. And that's part of the problem, is that when you put a dog in a cage like that, you have to kind of let them walk in, and then you got to leave the door open and let them just see that it's not a trap.
Right.
Okay? It's just, it's a place. It's like his place, and you want him to feel like it's his safe place.
Right.
But when you lock him in there, then he sees it as a negative place. And so you you know, you get him to go in it, and you leave the door open, and he wants to come right back out, and you go, no, just hang out, you know. And you maybe sit outside, sit down outside, and get him to lay down and just feel comfortable inside. And, boy, that was a long message. Jeez Louise. I'll bet that was Amber calling from Hawaii or something, you know, telling me this and that, and I don't know. But that was a 5-minute message I think somebody just left. So it can't be
It can't be an open shut book. What you have to do
punishment.
is, yeah, you can't, you're right, he probably didn't see it as a punishment because your bag, go in the crate, take care of that. And we're putting in the crate for our protection just because we're going to be leaving. To destroy the bedroom or the house or whatnot.
But see, the energy, the intent that you're putting him in there, you're taking him and you're dragging him.
No, we're not even dragging him. He's actually willing.
No.
He's been willing to go
Okay.
the whole time. Like, if you're here, say he's here, I'm in there, catch us, go, come on. All of a sudden, bam, he runs in there, happy face tail, and then all of a sudden you shut the door, and then the complete negative, you know.
It's snarl.
Yeah. So we weren't forcing him because I don't want to force dogs to do something they're not going to do. But he went in there completely all on his own. So I was thinking, okay, that's not an issue. It's not that. It's just when the door shuts.
Because when he goes crazy, and that's what, the first night, he seemed possessive of his crate, because when they dropped him off, his crate was out here, and he actually went in there, you know, to get comfortable, because he was nervous around us, and then we were going to go move it, and as soon as I went to go touch the crate, he ran in there, so I couldn't move it.
Okay,
So we
so
had to get
other than
him-
that, so the exercise that you guys are gonna do, and maybe we'll get around to today, if we can, I'm not sure, you know, depending on where he is, if he's gonna be ready for that. Maybe what we could do is get the other one that we can lift, because that one you can't get through that door.
Correct.
Right.
So let's get one, the smaller one, and we can maybe bring it out here and introduce him to it. But what we're gonna need to do is, you know, let it, if he walks right in, great, but then he turns around and we just have him, we leave the gate open, we just have him stay there. And he, you know, he'll maybe wanna keep coming out, or maybe he'll sit, maybe, does he listen to you when you say sit?
He was, and I was even having him lay down in the crate.
Oh.
And then one of the times when he had laid down in the crate, 'cause I was, at first I was giving, when I was having the issues, as I give him a treat when he went in there, I give him a treat when he laid down, and then if he let me close the door, I gave him a treat, you know, through the crate to, you know, reinforce it, but it only worked a couple times. Then the next day when I tried to do it, I gave him the treat, and then after I gave him the treat, he bit me.
Okay, so what we're gonna be doing is, when he gets in the tree, when he gets in the cage, leave the door open, and then kind of walk away, and let him feel comfortable with that action, and just being there. And then, you know, come back around, maybe just sit in the living room watching TV with him in the crate, with the door open.
Yeah, that's what we're doing at first, and then we had to move it, so we could have our dogs come out. And
Oh, you got other doggies?
Yeah. So when the others came out, we, you know, had to move it in the room. That's why he's in the room by himself. And then he, it's just that's when he's been having the whole issue.
So how was he around, hey, sit down. How was he around your dog?
With our other dogs, he's been good.
Oh, no.
He kind of, because they like to play, they kind of play a little rough.
Sit.
So at first he was a little nervous, but I mean, he's more comfortable with his surroundings when he's with them. He's a lot more comfortable. He doesn't pay attention
Oh.
to like he was scared of like the little exercise machine. When they're around, he doesn't even pay any attention to it.
His focus
When
is
he's
off
with
of-
us, like just us and the fan, he hooks up at it a lot. With the other dogs, he does it. He's a lot more comfortable around them. But then one of my dogs, she doesn't really care for him and doesn't want her anything to do
Well,
with
yeah,
him.
because of his energy. No dog wants to be around that. It's so overwhelming. It's like, you know, having, what's that guy, the motivational speaker guy? Big guy, he was in Shallow Hal. Did you see the movie where he changed that guy's head? made him think that that girl was thin.
Oh, yeah.
What's his? Anthony Robbins. Okay, can you imagine having Anthony Robbins around your house all the time?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That high intensity, like, hey, you know, and constantly correcting and constantly telling you. I mean, being in a seminar 24 hours a day, you know, so in a way, it could be. Well, getting back to the crate, what you got to do is just develop that it's okay for him to be in the crate and that you guys are comfortable. I don't want you to put him in the crate like, okay, get in there now. I'm going to close the door and don't bite, because he sees that trepidation. It's like when you want to go and you want to leave, you know, put him in the crate earlier. Put him in the crate 40 minutes earlier. Start the goodbye process earlier so that he has time to kind of acclimate, and then, you know, eventually you just kind of close the door and you don't make a big deal out of it. You don't put any energy, any of that intent, because he's looking at you and he's deciding what is going on here. And if you're going to go, I'm going to trick him and lock him in there, ha ha ha, you're in there now. You know, he senses that. He's like, oh shit, I'm trapped.
Right.
So if it's, hey, okay, go on in there, cool, all right, we're going to, you know, just hang loose. And you're going to hang around the house, you're going to meet like no big deal, the dog's just in there, but you're really not paying attention like me. I'm not really paying attention to him, but, you know, I'm interacting with him, but I'm not addressing him. I'm not going, now dog, stop, don't, you know, don't do that, just be cool, you just stay right there, everything will be fine. You know, that whole energy thing is like, whoa. So he's like, you know, earlier when I started raising my intensity, he started barking because he sensed that there's, you know, all this energy, his new energies come out, and oh, I should address that. That's different than it was before, so that's something I should be concerned about. But when you're calm and you're relaxed, like you're in your own home, you're not tense, you're not stressed. You come in here and like, hey, everything's cool, man. This is our nirvana. This is our like muy tranquilo. You know, this is where you're at your best, supposedly. This is your kingdom.
Right.
This is where you're safe. This is your safe place. So you have to give him the same feeling, because you already know that he can't really feel safe yet. He doesn't feel welcome. He doesn't feel included. So, especially you're going to lock him up and like, gotcha.
Right.
There's a different energy, but if, hey buddy, it's cool, we're just going to close this now, and you close it for maybe a couple minutes, and then you kind of open it up, but just hang out. You know, then you walk away, just hang out, cool. This is good. I mean, this is just the stop, sit, and wait. This is the wait for the next command.
Right.
Command, you know. That's why I just keep reminding him of it. And he doesn't like it because he kind of starts to know, oh, he's telling me something, and well, maybe I don't want to listen. You know, there's that side
authority.
of it. Yeah, maybe I don't like authority. You know, but this is like, dude, just be calm. I want you to understand something that's kind of, you know, it's real basic, it's real simple principle. It's him just sitting here. Oh, no, relax. He feels he has to address all these nuances and differences in the energy, because now I've gotten close to him. So he was comfortable with me walking around, but then when I stop, he's like, okay, that should be, you know, hair on the back of his neck, or his alarms, bells go off, you know, alert, something's going on, I guess I should address this. And then when nothing happens, those alarms stop going off, or they don't go off as often, or they're not going off as intense. They're kind of going, hey, I don't know, maybe I should be aware of this. And then eventually it's like, oh, yeah, I remember that. That's no big deal, that didn't happen. Like what I do with dogs that are doorbell sensitive. You ring a doorbell and they, I just go freaking nuts, right out of their heads. And so you desensitize them by having somebody knock, and when they bark, you know, I got that, that's cool. You show no oh my God, the Publishers Clearinghouse just brought me my $10 million check. Oh crap! Woohoo! Right? See? When you do that, then there's that energy behind it. If you go, oh, that's just Jim at the door. I don't think I need to worry about it. That was just Jim. And then dogs going, hey, I just won $10 million. And you go, no, dude, it's just Jim. He comes over every day about this time, to bring us a newspaper or tell us a joke, or, you know what I mean? So, and then eventually the doorbells are just another doorbell. I mean, he's curious. He might, hey, there's someone at the door. A couple of barks, but not rushing the door and standing there waiting and for somebody, for him to address, because you've told him, no, that's mine. I got that. That's cool. That's no big deal. That's just Jim. He's just coming over here to see what. No, come here, right here. Hey. Good boy. Good boy. Just hang out. So what an open door is to a dog, it's like a portal to all that adventure and excitement and escape and whatever it means to the dog. So what I do is I teach dog owners to show their dog that open door doesn't mean run out.
Right.
Because people lose dogs all the time and they can't catch them, and they just run frantically, and then they get in their cars and they try to run them down, and I mean it's horrible. It's a nightmare, Hopefully you can catch your dog. Hold on. So the door has that energy to it. And so he's used to kind of responding to somebody knocking or the door opening, and he feels up. Hey. No, it's okay. Sit down. Sit down. Yeah. Well, sit down. Oh, good boy. Matt. The little taps just kind of remind him. It's not a yank. It's like a poke. If you ever watch Caesar, he pokes them to get their attention because they're doing something in their head, and you got to get them out of their head, like with a tap or a poke or the whatever. There's a lot of ways to get a dog's attention, but when they see that nothing comes of it, hold on. You saw that nothing really came out of all this knocking, and then hold on, sit, good boy. And nothing comes out of it, then his overreactions to those situations kind of start knocking down. That red zone, that 10, gets down to about a 6.5, and then eventually a 4, and then a 3. 3 is about right for in home. I mean, 3 is just enough to be, kind of alert, not comatose, but aware, and like, oh, well, someone's here. Oh, okay, that's just Jim from next door. Comes over here all the time. Dog has to make his own conclusions about those things, but you have to show him that it's not a big deal, and you've got to kind of prove it to him. You've got to practice with people coming over, and or going into the cage. You've got to have him practice going into the cage, and him not being locked down for 8 hours, and you have to have him walk in and just think, hey, this is a cool spot, put a nice blanket in there and some treats, and he's just kind of, that's his spot, that's my spot. He's got his own. Does he lay on this?
Sometimes. Not very
Does he
much.
have his own blanket or his own little thing that has gone with him from Amber's
Yeah.
house to here?
Yeah.
And that's in the cage? Okay. So, and that's good, because those are things of familiarity. But they can also be triggers for bad experiences if he had bad experiences with that.
Right.
So, anyway. Good boy. Good boy. Nice. No, that's nice. That's nice. Very good.
Now, what would you recommend for, like, if we had, because in the mornings, we need to get up early, and then we like to bring the dogs out for like an hour or two before we have to go to work, you know, so that they aren't, you know, in bed and then, you know, gone, you know, locked up while we're at work. So if we had to crate him, you know, within like, you know, an hour and a half or something, how would
No, sit
we,
up. Up, up, good boy.
how would we do that? Because we wouldn't have the time to, you know, let him just.
Well, your dogs are afraid of him, right? So you wouldn't have them all together then, would you?
Well, they're not afraid. One of them, she just doesn't care that he's around. The other one, she loves all dogs, but she's just kind of been, she plays with him here and there, but she's been just staying her distance. Our other dog, he's special. He was really abused and he has many, many issues and he just does not care for him. And then our foster plays with him the most. Like, so they're fine. Like, I have them out all day together and they're fine. It's just that some of the two girls kind of just keep their distance from him. And just, well, the one girl, she doesn't want him around her at all.
He's looking at you.
I don't know
And
why.
he keeps turning, and so it's almost like an obsession. And so I want to keep bringing him this way so he can't start whatever it is that he's doing, obsessing or, you know,
Focusing on.
We were afraid of if we put his crate with the rest of our dogs, that if he does what he does to us, that our dogs
oh, thank
will
you.
see him as, you know, being aggressive towards us, and that they will team up against him.
Oh, well, let's just, you know, he's got all kinds of issues and he's not going to live here anyway.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So we don't really have to concentrate on the metadata that represents. That, you know, those are another class in working with him, with you and your other dogs and integrating them into your pack. But that's really not what this exercise is, what you really want to spend your time focusing on. You know, that's other issues that don't need to be addressed because he's only going to be here for another 3 or 4 days, right?
Till Sunday.
Okay, so you're right to want to concentrate on that because that's where you're afraid. You don't seem to have the same nervous energy about the dog when your other dogs and family are around, which is fine because that's what I've been trying to tell you to have, is to just not have all that
Right.
intent and energy and worry and stress and trepidation.
Yeah, because when it started the most, when like it was the first night he, you know, protested to me closing the crate, and I wasn't expecting that. So when he did that, it kind of just startled me, and then I went and tried. You know, I just kind of like, you know, kind of fell back a little bit. And then I went to do it again, and he did it a little bit worse. And this time he got to the point where he was kind of hanging out of the crate where I couldn't even shut the door. So then I kind of like let him be in his crate. But then as soon as I went to re-enter that room, he chased me out. He growled, snarled, bared his teeth at me, and completely chased me out.
See if it's still rolling. Yep.
And when he chased me out, that's when I reached out to the rescue. I used to be part of the founder, and I was asking her, what should I do? Because he just chased me out of the room. And that's when she was like, well, try treats. So I went back in there with him and just kind of let him do his thing. And I was giving him the treats, and he was fine. The 2 times after that, he was fine. But the 3rd time with the treats is when he bit me. And after that, I got even more tense around him. And that's when my husband started to go in and you know, and close the crate, because I knew that my, you know, nervous energy would affect him. And, you know, Nick doesn't have that. And the first time Nick did it, he was fine. The second time Nick did it, he actually started baring his teeth and snarling at Nick. And then the next time after that was last night when I had the worst experience. And Like, so now I'm just even terrified to even try to crate him, because I'm afraid he's
Well, the
gonna.
terrified thing is he's picking up on that.
Yeah, and I know, and I don't know, because like, I
And you can't fake being terrified.
I know.
Or you can't fake not being
And I think
terrified
that's
when you're
why
terrified.
he reacted so bad last night.
That's like trying to pass a lie detector test
Right.
with your mind, because your body does what it does outside of you thinking about it. Because that's what they're testing is, hey. Nice. That's what I want. That was the best one so far. That was, no, stop. You see? He kind of snarled right there.
Right.
He's like,
Right.
he bared his teeth. I'm like, no. I changed my attitude a little bit. I
Right.
went, no, that's not what I want. That was bad. I didn't go over the top. If he had like really snapped at me, then I would have given him a good
Right.
yank, because I have to come back with the same or more of the intensity of, no, that's inappropriate behavior, than a, no, I don't really want that. Because it doesn't have the same impact. Like if you have a kid and your kid is reaching up to put his hand on a red stove, you're not going to go, hey Jimmy, don't do that. You're going to go, ah!
Yeah.
And he's going, what? What? You're going to go, no, bad. You know, you're not going to go, hey man, don't do that.
Right.
He's not going to get it. So he has, so that's just, a normal guy. Come on, just wait, buddy. So he's getting, no, come here. Stop. Just sit. Nice. Good boy. Good boy. Just don't snarl at me. That was very good. Just wait. That was very good. So he's starting to get in between worlds now. He's still, he's still, I'd say, 80-20, 80% his old self and 20% kind of coming along with the program and listening and letting me get near him and not freaking out and not barking at me. I mean, what would you say?
I was surprised at the time you dealt with him, how much he's changed.
Well, it's waiting for all those worries and things to just kind of start.
Yeah.
Okay, that didn't happen, and that didn't happen, and that didn't happen. Eventually, he's going to be like, the way he's supposed to be in a home. It's like,
Right.
dude,
Relax.
you have to. So dogs, I guess getting back to the original thing about leaving the dog outside playing, and then he comes in and he's now, whoa.
Right.
So you gotta show him how to relax. You've got to, take initiative to say, dude, no, I just want you to be calm. And you can't be going, calm down. You just calm down. You can't. You got to be the calm that you want to see in your dog. So you got to be going, hey man, what's the issue? You got to make it like you're on a beach and the guy's walking over with a tray of margaritas, and you're just going to be having a great time. You got your dog beside you, and you're laying in the water, kind of lapping up at your feet, and especially with a dog like this, because he's going to be reading you. He's going to look at you and like, where are you now?
Right.
And if you are never where he worries about seeing somebody coming at him,
Right.
I'll show you who's
Yeah.
boss.
With
Frickin'
intent,
yeah.
with intent, basically.
Yeah, and that whole thing, he's hyper, super tuned in to that because it's been beaten into him or whatever. The wild has been not so good to him, and so has domestication. It hasn't been that great to him. And so somebody has to show him that there's something better than all that anger and all that dominance and all that aggression and all that worked up, house on fire. That when you show them where they can be, and then you build that trust, then they start letting go a little bit. And then they're gonna give you the benefit of the doubt until you prove them wrong, and then they're gonna really hate you. They're gonna turn on you because they give you your trust and you screwed them. You let them come right over here and then you went pow! You know, either with a smack or with a yelp or a kick or an intent that set them back to, oh, that's the person that I don't like, and now you're gonna have to rebuild the trust all over again and be super, super kind and tolerant and those sort of things. Hey, buddy.
Okay, so like, you know, because since he's been acting, he's getting worse and worse and worse with the grading. If we, you know, let him go in there and do his thing, and we go in there and we try, you know, after, you know, a half hour, 40 minutes, and we try to close the crate and he charges the crate and he, you know, does his protesting, what do we do?
Well, you don't close it right away.
I know, like, after, like, 40 minutes or so. Like, after, you know, we've been working with him, you know, it's good to be in there, and he's okay, and he settled down, he's calm. And, you know, we try to go and close it, and he protests. What do we do? Do we just back off and then try again later? Or, I mean, like, how should we approach that?
Well,
I think that
you don't do it for 45 minutes up front, which is what I was saying. You do it in a little bit of increments. So if he doesn't do it after 2 minutes, and then you find out he does it at 40 minutes, then you work around 35 minutes. You see what I mean? And you keep doing the exercise until eventually he gets it, and then he doesn't. He doesn't charge the cage. He's not gonna, if he charges the cage right off the bat, then you only close the door halfway. And then you close the door 3/4 of the way. And then you close it, but you don't latch it. And then you close it and you latch it. But some dogs need micromanaging of those issues, and other dogs can get it after 1 or 2 tries. Hey.
Okay, so
Sit down.
basically we would just, you know, if you're starting to close the door and he starts to protest, you just kind of leave it where it's at, and then wait a little bit, and then try to close it a little bit more, and if he lets you, you can do it all the way, okay, but if he doesn't, just leave it there until he actually lets you get it closed.
Yeah, I mean, because you are going to have those times where he's not going to charge the cage, right? So that's like, you know, you take a big step and then you, oh, okay, I don't want to go this far. And then you take it this far, and then you take it this far. And then you find out you can go this and this and this, and he still is staying there. But you got to find, like I said, some dogs, they can pick it up easy because they're like super, hey, what are they doing? You know, they're going to lock me in here? Well, they better not, because I'll attack. You know, but if you come through the door and go, hey, baby, I love you, we're going to close this just like that a little bit. And no, stay there, relax, stay there. No, and he comes out and you calmly take it back in and have him sit down calmly, sweetly, you know, like it's no big deal. Take him back in, no, hang out. And then you close the cage right back to that half spot. Then you go over here and you ignore him, but you keep your eye on him. No, you don't come back out yet. No. Go back in. You know, maybe take him for a little brief. See, because what happens is, you know, that's why I take him and I move him. He got used to me walking in circles over there. But everywhere in the house has different energy. They're like portals, or little balls of energy that mean something to them that you can't see. Like the door, okay? Classic example. The closer they get to an open door, the more they get sucked right out of it, like a magnet, you know? Right. So, you open the door and have them sit there with the door open. And you see that right here, he's okay with that. He doesn't rush the door. So in, let's say, a couple minutes, I take him a foot closer. And now he drags right back through the door. That's his threshold. So I take him right back to the spot that worked before. Right. Sit down. Sit.
Like you said, small increments.
Sit down. If need be, sit down. Hey, sit down. Good boy. Good. Just relax. See, because now he's way more intense. Now you're going to start concentrating on all there. Hey, All those things that he thinks he needs to address out there. Kids riding by on bikes, you know, cars, motorcycles, skateboards, you know, whatever. And so he's got all this shit that just came up, okay? Because the energy, all I did was open a stupid door. To you, it's like, hey, don't let the damn flies in, woman! But to a dog, it's a whole lot more. And so, what I would do, I'm gonna move it a little forward. I know that he's already way, this is way almost too much for him. But I'm gonna give him a little bit of a benefit of the doubt and walk right in. Yeah, come on, yeah. Okay, stop. Okay, sit. Sit. Good boy, good. Now let him deal with that. Halfway, 3/4 of the way of the door, right? In the cage. He's got all this energy. Oh my God, I'm even closer now. And here's the dog barking. Oh, I think I should address it. And guess what? Got the leash on him. And when he starts moving or starts ruffing or whatever, I'm going to go, no big deal. It's just the door open, dude. Stop. See, it's almost a little too much for him. He kind of wants to drive right through that door. It just seems like, oh man. So I'm going to do my little walk around it. Stop. Sit down. Sit. Good boy. Good boy. And he didn't growl at me. Because I did that before and he growled at me. He's like, all right, well, I'm too chubby. So now we're back to where we were before. Because it was just almost too much for him. So we're going to take him right back over. Right here. Right here. Come on. Right here. Okay, stop. Good boy. Good boy. Now he's a little closer. Now I'm just going to kind of let him do his thing. Let him get used to the fact that the door's open, but there's no running through it. I want you to, I know there'll be flies and heat. It'll cost you a little bit extra PG&E for, hey, but it's a nice lesson, okay? Mm-hmm. So just get your fly swatter out.
I'm not worried about that.
So that's in every situation that you find a dog has issues with, is instead of taking him out and not having him address them, and you just put him in a room and lock him up and not deal with it. I'm not going to deal with that crap. You deal with it, and until he gets it, and then he's going to get it. He's going to go, oh, that's right. It's just a door. Doesn't mean I get to run out there. Doesn't mean there's all this, I can even walk over here and peer out and go, it's just a door. And so now I'm going to close it. It's like it's no big deal. I'm just going to go right back to where we were before. Right? No. Hey, sit down. Good boy. Good boy. Sit. Good boy. Good boy. So it's like there was a nice little exercise, but you saw the possibility, I first opened it and he charged through. You remember. First thing he did was bolt. But he didn't bolt. Didn't bolt. Does that give you hope? Does that let you see, oh, well, maybe
I actually kind of thought about that ahead of time. Because put him in the crate, good boy, and then doing what you're thinking, basically small increments. Because you know what? If you do everything off the get-go, the dog's, like you said, thinking you're punishing him by putting him in a crate. So yeah, that makes more sense.
The bad memories, especially with the shelter.
Well, that maybe, who knows, if he was put in a crate when his doctor or doctors, that could have changed. I mean, look at him now.
No, it's not.
He's not growling anymore.
There you go.
He was licking earlier. He's trusting him a lot more because he's right there. He's not snapping or doing any other stuff. It's just like I said, it comes down to a trust issue.
Well, he's still a little edgy.
I can see the edgy part, yeah.
He's still a little like,
Yeah.
I watch his eyes and he's kind of like, he's
But
all
he's
there.
willing to accept it and learn the process. Essentially what you're doing is basically retraining the dog.
Well, just giving him the opportunity to just drop all those worries
Right.
in his head. And then once he gets down to a point to where, like I was saying earlier, once he gets to a certain point, then you can actually communicate with him. Because then he's actually more available to listen to you.
Right.
But, hey, See, he felt he needed to address your husband leaving. Look at his ears, and he just can't, hey, hold on, hey, stop. Hold on, just wait, that's no big deal. See, he sensed that, oh, there's new energy, he left, and I should address, oh, what's going on? I mean, you saw it, look at him, hold on, hey, hold on. So I'm basically saying, hey, I got that. That's my responsibility.
Right.
You don't need to worry
Worry
about that.
what he's doing.
You just calm your little head. You just be a good boy and get good love and get good, hey, that's what I want. And that's what I want him to start concentrating on the things that he does right. We haven't even really worked on the things, on the positive reinforcement yet. We're just still working on getting him to a point to where we can start working that angle, you know? Because once he starts sitting here, hey, stop. Once he starts sitting here and doing what I want, then I go, yeah, that's what I want. And giving him an opportunity to see the good cop in me. And the good cop, up, come on, up, there you go. Good boy. You just wait right there. Oh, just wait. That's right. You just wait right there. Now this is almost the, a longer leash is even better if you can, but what you do is now you test, see he's going to start sitting there, up. He's going to be sitting, up, right there. Get up, up. Good boy. Nothing's going to happen. I'm not going to really say anything to him. I just want him, and you're going to see how he's going to go, oh, well, he hasn't said anything to me for a while, so I guess I'll just go and think about and do what I think I want to do, which is lay down. And so, without me really saying anything and putting energy into it, I just want to teach him that all I want him to do is just sit there without going and doing, because a dog wants to do what he wants to do when he wants to do it. Hey, I got an idea, I'm going to go do it. Hey, I think I'm going to do that. And you go, no. So you got to change his normal way of thinking. Like your first day of school, you had summer off of just going, party, and now you got to like, oh crap, I got to stop and focus, and it's just killing my brain. I have to sit here and think, and math and science or whatever, and it's just, and you frustrate and you force yourself to learn the lessons because you've been off grid in your head, right? You haven't been thinking about, that, So what is, good boy, just wait, okay? Just wait. Just give me some time. So you let him sit there and think about, you keep saying that, just stop and wait. What does that mean? Oh, I gotta go this. Oh, wait, what do you mean? Well, I think I'll go say hi to him. Oh, what does it mean? Oh, no, up. So he can't, what is that, like 20 seconds? Stop.
Probably.
So it's not very long. His concentration of the command is between now and whenever he decides to lay down or decides to walk off. But I want him to just learn that he's got to go through the I'm in charge, no, I guess I got to listen. I'm in charge, no, I got to listen. I'm in charge, oh, he wants him to do this. Boom, 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 boom. To where he finally goes, I got it. All he wants me to do is sit here, so I'm just going to sit and wait. He's not going to hurt me, not going to kick me, all my trepidations. See, he started to lay down. Instead of, he saw that I went, no, I don't want you, just want you, up, come on, up. Good boy, just hang out. It's really hard for a dog that's kind of been used to, I want to do what I want to do when I want to do it. Now, how about now? He's not used to just sitting and waiting. And so by sitting and waiting, he's got to process his own ideas versus mine. And so when he transfers over to mine, then that's when you have a dog that's alert and ready to listen and ready to be trained. Who's like, oh, I get it, it's like a game. I listen to you. And I get love, I get treats, I get good body language, I get walks, you know, I get attaboys and pets and playtime. But he didn't get any of that crap when he's a bad dog. He gets none of it. Because when you do it, when he's doing bad stuff, then it's like he's going, oh, they're approving of my bad behavior. And that's what a lot of people do, is they teach their dogs that they approve of their bad behavior when they don't even know they're approving of the dog's bad behavior, but the dog's going, cool, all right, I'll do this more and more. And their owner gets more and more frustrated over and over and over. Why aren't you listening to me? Like a little chihuahua that's being held right in a breast of somebody, you know, and you come up to pet it, oh, like, ah! Tears your freaking hand off. And the mom goes, oh, no, baby, don't do that. No, they're nice people. They're sweet. That's my sister. You should love her. Instead of going, dude, no. I disapprove of that behavior. They're going, yeah, I approve. Bite her again. Go on. Stick your hand over here and let my little dog bite you again. Because that's what he's going to do. Because I'm going, yeah, no, it's okay. You bite her. So, look at him. He hasn't moved. He hasn't laid down in a couple of minutes. So, something is happening there. I can tell. I see that he's... And so guess what I'm going to do right now? Hey, hold on. Oh, damn it! Oh, because guess what? What was I going to do? Tell me, what was my now action that I was going to get up and do? Tell me.
An attaboy?
Yeah, I was going to reward him
Right,
for
doing
the behavior that I wanted, which was just sitting there. It was just sitting there, and he was going to get a big reward, but he screwed it up right before I was going to go over there. So he missed out, and so now I got to wait, maybe not as long, right? Increment. So maybe 30 seconds is all I have him sit there, and then I come over and oh, good boy. That's just what I want. Thank you. And then I'm going to go again. That's all I wanted. So I'll count, 1,000, 2,000. He wants to lay down, but he's hanging out. He's doing it. Up. Good boy. Good boy.
It's a repeated process, basically.
Well, yeah. Pavlovian. Dogs. Right? I mean, you can teach a dog behavior with a treat. I don't usually like treats. I don't usually work with treats. I work with the reward being my, yeah, because it's much more longer lasting. Instead of a treat, like, give me another one. Hey, what the hell is wrong with you? I did a treat, what the hell? I'll get you. So, now that, hey, oh, that was a good decision right there. That was a good decision. He stopped and he sat, so there was two. So you get the good boy. See the snarl?
I did.
See, no.
And what's that from?
It's normal. He can't handle something he doesn't understand, which is love. Hey, stop.
So he's associating the love with bad.
Maybe, yeah, okay. Look, just relax. No, stop it. No. Nope. Stop. So here he's slipping back into domino. I'm dominant, nobody's going to tell me what to do, so what happens? Dogs forget what they know. We forget what they know, what we know, right? So we got to be reminded. Look at him as a really pissed off 4-year-old, right? With a lot of strength and a lot of F you in him. Like I don't have to listen to my mother and you don't know me or whatever, as a 4-year-old. And so you got to keep reminding him, no, honey, I just want you to do this. No, honey, you can't eat the cookies until dinner. No, honey, no cookies until dinner. No. How many times you got to tell them that? Until they finally figure, hey, Mom, can I have a cookie? No. But thank you for asking. And then you get a communication. He doesn't get his hand smacked when he's grabbing a cookie at noon. And then at 2, and then at 2:30, and then at 3, and then at 3:30. And it's driving you insane. Because they're like, well, you said I couldn't have a cookie at 2:30, but it's 3 now. That's their rationale. So that's kind of where a dog is. Well, he hadn't told me anything for a while, so it must be okay. Must mean that I can go now. Because I'm a dog, I want to do what I want to do when I want to do it. You know? So, since he was there, he's getting ready to take off, and so I'm just going to give him a good boy. Good boy. Now don't bite me. Don't bite me. I just want to come home and say hi. No. No. Stop. No. Stop. 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 Shh. Stop. No. 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 Shh. No. No snarly lip either. I don't like it. No. 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 You can lick me. It's okay. Good boy. Thank you. No. Shh. No. Stop. Hey. Ah. No. That's him holding on to dominance. It's him wanting to go back to being in charge. And he was doing great there for a while. But you see, now you have a little bit of hope. And you can see that, well, okay, if he can do it for 2 minutes, then there's a possibility he could do it for 4, and then 8, and then 30 minutes. You know, and then all this crap and this holding on and this, you can't change me.